Keto, the keto diet, a diet full of fat, low in carbs, and high in prep work. Many of my patients have tried the keto diet, some with success, but some not so much. Let's take a few minutes to talk about keto and weigh in on the pros and cons of the keto diet and if it's the right diet for you. Many of my patients have tried the keto diet. Some have had a ton of great success, but some not at all. I wanted to take a few minutes today to weigh in on some of the pros and the cons of keto and if it's the right diet for you. Believe it or not, the keto diet has been around for a really long time. In fact, it was used to treat seizures because it lowered insulin and glucose levels and really prompted regeneration of neurons, all those cells in the brain, forced them to become reactive and help them to regrow. And it also reduced overactive brain patterns, meaning it just kind of calmed the brain down. Think about kind of putting water on a brain that's on fire, something that we see in research today. As a diet, the keto style of eating shifts the majority of the calories towards healthy fats, almost 75 grams of healthy fat. Just to give you perspective, most of us get usually around 15 to 20 grams of fat per day. While it also lowers the amount of carbohydrates down to 10% of your total calories, and that is a dramatic drop. This shift does something really neat. It forces the body to use a whole different pathway when it comes to using our fat. It actually demands that the body find another source of fuel. The body's all confused, it doesn't know what to do, so guess what it does? It uses your stored fat or the visceral fat that you might be holding on to. The increased fat also takes away from just overall hunger, so most people end up consuming a lot less on the keto diet. Great in theory, let's see what the reality is. In practice, here's what I'm finding when patients or people that I know go on keto. Yes, they do have weight loss, and yes, they do have abdominal weight loss. They suddenly notice that they can wear a smaller size or tie their belt a little bit tighter. All that's awesome, it's great. Their energy does go up, and most of my patients will tell me that their brain clears, so they say goodbye to brain fog, and who wants that anyways? Their appetite goes down. They're not as hungry, and I've experienced this too. The more you increase fat, you stop craving the sugar and the carbohydrates, and you bring that insulin level back down. So that's another great big success. So why isn't everybody on keto, or why am I not telling everyone to go on keto? Here's the other part of the story. After a couple of weeks, there's some variables I'm seeing when it comes to the keto diet. Men seem to lose weight much faster than women on the keto diet, and I think there's a reason for this. We'll get to that in a second. Women start to get more anxious, and they actually start to get depressed when they're doing keto for a prolonged period of time. I think what's happening here is that the real low carbohydrate load is affecting our serotonin levels. Remember serotonin? That's our feel-good neurotransmitter, makes us happy, makes us fun to be around. Well, I think all these low carbohydrate loads affect women more severely when it comes to serotonin, and affects women's hormone balance more dominantly than it does for men when keto's done for a really long time. And when I say long time, I'm noticing that this trend or this pattern when people are doing keto for more than about 6 to 8 weeks. Many folks will plateau after 6 to 8 weeks, meaning that they're not able to lose more than the initial weight that they first lost, and that can be really frustrating. I think the keto diet is a great jump start, a great metabolic shakeup for your whole body, and it forces it to rethink how it burns fat and how it uses fuel. It just may not be the best plan long term. So here's what I think about keto. Here's where I land. I think it's a great jump start. It's a great metabolic shakeup. It's a great way to help your body rethink how it burns fat and how it uses fuel. It just might not be the best long-term plan. For any of you thinking about this diet plan, here are my rules when it comes to doing keto. We do want to include the following foods. So these are a yes. Yes to healthy oils like coconut, olive oil, even a little bit of ghee, avocados, nuts, walnuts, almonds, macadamia nuts. Macadamia nuts, by the way, are one of the highest fat nuts. Yes to grass-fed butter. You can have meat on keto, but again, you want to do it responsibly and you don't want to have an excessively large amount of meat. You can have eggs, sprouted tofu, spinach, broccoli, kale. These are all some of the vegetables that are allowed on keto. Cauliflower as well. Tomatoes. These are all yes foods when it comes to going on keto. On the other hand, here are some of the foods you can't eat on keto or you do have to avoid, whether you're using it as a jump start or you're trying to adopt it as a lifestyle. So fruit goes out of the window. Bread, no bread at all. Guess what? Bread's a big carbohydrate. A lot of carbohydrate grams in bread, so no bread. Pasta, grains like rice and oat and quinoa quinoa. And then those starchy vegetables that a lot of us love, like potatoes or sweet potato, even corn, you can't have on keto. Dairy, and this gets a little bit confusing because I have so many people tell me that they're doing, whole milk dairy and that is okay on keto. But dairy in the form of milk, ice cream, or yogurt has a lot of lactose. Lactose is a starch, it's a carbohydrate, so it doesn't help you stay in ketosis or manage that fat burning phase that we're trying to accomplish using this diet. And then of course, anything with sugar. So anything with sweets or different forms of sugar is gonna be out when it comes to keto. As you jump into the keto diet, don't forget to stay hydrated, add in those electrolytes and minerals, and use digestive enzymes to help you break fats down. Ideally, one with lipase. I'm seeing this a lot in practice where the keto diet does drive those lipid levels up, specifically triglycerides, which is going to drive your total cholesterol level up. And one of the reasons is I feel like the gut's simply not equipped to deal with the big load of fat. So using the right enzymes helps to break the fat down, but still gets your body breaking down your stored fat. Now, it can take up to 2 weeks to see benefits from keto as your metabolic pathways shift. So once you start, stick with it for at least 3 to 4 weeks to see if it works for your body. Have any of you tried the keto diet? I'm so curious. I would love to know what worked for you. So share your story with me, and if you want more information on food and diet, check out my other videos.